Here we are with week 6 of The Greenhouse Season 3. Thomas and Bryn were on the block, and at the start of the auction, Thomas wanted to make sure that he didn't have to buy Uproot. 2 members of Thomas's Final Four alliance were voters, Shakira and Edmund. They would be able to carry a majority of the votes. Why? Because Edmund still had a banked vote from earlier in the game. But for good measure, Thomas made sure to go talk to Abrielle, and she promised Thomas that she would be voting out Bryn. Abrielle and Zach talked about Bryn's stance in the game. She seemed to be losing energy and her heart wasn't really in it. It was probably Bryn's time to go. Kat and Olivia told Thomas that they were rallying votes for him to stay. Kat felt bad because she promised everyone but Thomas safety, and she wanted to make sure that Thomas wouldn't leave the game. Bryn continued to advocate for herself, saying that Thomas was a much more experienced player than Bryn. As a result, Thomas was a big threat in the game worth taking out. Edmund entertained the idea with Bryn, saying that with his banked vote and one other vote, they'd be able to save Bryn and send home Thomas. Edmund tells Bryn to talk to Abrielle. At the end of the auction, we had a special seed hunt where everyone was able to write down the name of someone they wanted to block from receiving a seed. During this challenge, Edmund blocked Thomas from receiving a seed, and Olivia, Zach, and Edmund left with an extra seed. Bryn talked to Abrielle about potentially flipping the vote on Thomas. Abrielle worked through the thought with Bryn, but ultimately, nothing really came from this conversation. Edmund tells Kat that he doesn't think the votes are there to get Thomas out, and he plans to vote to keep Thomas to stay. Kat says that she wants Thomas to stay, and Edmund agrees, saying that he's happy to do what Kat wants here. Thomas confronts Edmund about blocking Thomas during the seed hunt. Edmund said that it was just to disguise the alliance and that Thomas shouldn't read too much into it. Zach and Shakira talked about Edmund blocking Thomas as well, saying that it seemed like Edmund might feel insecure about his place in the top 4. After all, 3 at most would make it to the finale. The top 4 alliance met up one more time and hashed things out following the seed hunt. Edmund said that he was still all in on the alliance and Bryn should be going home at the voting ceremony. Bryn made one more pitch to Kat and Olivia, saying that it was a good time to make a big move against Thomas. They didn't budge. Meanwhile, outside, the top 4 alliance was planning to get out Olivia and Kat following Bryn. They said that they only had to beat Olivia at the next Greenhouse Challenge. Abrielle was all in because she hasn't had a one-on-one with Olivia in 3 rounds. At the banishment ceremony, Bryn goes home by a unanimous vote. The next Greenhouse competition had players balancing ping pong balls and dropping them into cups. Shakira, Thomas, and Olivia entered the greenhouse. Thomas took 2 seeds, Shakira took the sunflower, and Olivia took the rose.
I just voted out probably my most loyal ally, Bryn. At least I thought she was the most loyal. I felt like no one really gave her a chance, and I was the one that talked to her the most. And I really could have flipped it and turned on Thomas there. And I probably should have strategically. But I am playing loyal. And usually playing loyal bites you in the ass. I don't feel completely comfortable with Shakira and Olivia being rose holders. But if things get messy and people try to expose me, I have my own receipts too.
Shakira told Kat that she wanted to keep Kat safe and that she planned to nominate Abrielle. But then, when Kat went to tell Olivia that Shakira's plan was to nominate Abby, Olivia panicked because Abby was Olivia's only option. She has ties to everyone else. Olivia explained to Zach that Abby was her only nomination option, and when Zach told Shakira that Olivia would definitely nominate Abby, Shakira didn't really want to change her mind. She wanted to nominate Abrielle no matter what. Edmund and Zach told Shakira that it would be best to nominate Kat here, since Olivia would definitely be nominating Abrielle. That way, all members of the top 4 alliance would avoid being nominated. Shakira still didn't budge. Shakira had developed a strong bond with Kat over the course of the game, and she didn't want to sacrifice it now, especially when the top 4 was in such a dominant position. One of them could take the hit and be a pawn. Edmund and Zach talked about their worries about their Final Four alliance. Specifically, the red flag that Shakira wasn't willing to nominate Kat here. Olivia asked Shakira to nominate someone other than Abby. Again, Shakira stuck to her guns. She wanted to nominate Abrielle, and it was her right to. She's the sunflower and gets to move first. Thomas tells Shakira that the top 4 alliance could be screwed if Kat wins a challenge next week. Ultimately, one of Kat or Abrielle, whichever one survives the vote, will be competing in the Greenhouse Challenge. If either one wins, they will get immunity, and then the other target outside of the top 4 alliance could potentially win the uproot, forcing one of the top 4 out of the game. But then a miracle happened. Olivia offered to nominate her closest ally, Kat, as a pawn, since everyone was on board to get Abrielle out. Thomas completely egged this on, saying that he would definitely vote for Abrielle and that Kat would be completely safe as a pawn. Immediately after that conversation, Thomas told Abrielle that it was time to split up the duo of Olivia and Kat. Olivia told Edmund about the plan to make Kat a pawn, and Edmund also agreed to save Kat. Edmund tells Shakira about Olivia's sudden move to nominate Kat. They agree that it makes Olivia a less trustworthy ally moving forward, to the extent that they're allies at all, because Olivia was so willing to quickly flip on her close ally Kat.
I feel like I have a really good, strong, top 4 alliance going, but I'm feeling pretty soon it's going to be time that I'm going to have to break promises of people outside of that top 4 alliance, which I don't really like the feeling of, but it's inevitable. Not everyone can make it to the end, so I'm feeling a little uneasy about that, but I'm just hoping that if I have to backstab that person, that I have enough people on my side that if they try to counteract and backstab me, that it won't really matter because they have no one else to back them in that standing. So
out of your top 4, what's your ideal top 3?
Ooh, that's a messy question. Okay, my ideal top 3 would absolutely definitely be me, for sure Thomas, and honestly it's a toss-up between Edmund and Zach, but I think the only reason I'm gonna say Edmund is because I have a little nugget in the back of my mind that Zach was trying to get people to turn on me because I was a strong player. And I know that was a very long time ago, and Zach and I's relationship has come a very long way since, but he probably still feels that way. If I was a strong player that long ago, I'm probably still a strong player now if I made it this far.
At this point, I feel like Shakira, Edmund, Thomas, and I have kind of made that alliance, but we're also thinking about that final immunity. I don't think anybody really wants to put that out there, but it is definitely a thought that is at least driving my decision making at this point, in that I feel like we've established such a strong alliance. It's should I use that to my advantage at this point? Because I feel like Shakira, Thomas, and Edmund are just as strong in playing strength and just ability to be a good player as I am, and I don't really know where it would go when it got to that final 4. I'm anxious to make that move and then alienate myself from those 3, because then that could put me up for elimination, but I don't know. I'm just a little panicked right now. I'm a little worried about Edmund. Edmund has played a lot of different games today. Smart. I've respected his game completely, and I feel like Shakira and Thomas, as smart as they are, have kind of made maybe not as much as an effort in the beginning as I saw that Edmund made. And I feel like Edmund and I kind of both did that. So I think the biggest competitor right now is Edmund.
Olivia tells Kat that Kat will be a pawn on the block. However, she tells Kat that she already whipped the votes to make sure that Kat would stay.
Right. It is getting to the end game, which is really exciting. I think I'm in a good spot right now. Our target is, for me at least, is to send Kat this round, because Kat and Olivia are kind of our final 2 that need to be removed to keep our final 4 strong. I think that me, Shakira, and Edmund are likely a stronger 3. So I need to kind of loop Zach in case he pulls he wins the final round or that sort of thing. But I'm feeling pretty strong. I think everybody thinks I'm like ride or die with them, which is kind of dangerous going into the jury. But truly, I think I'm just telling them what they want to hear, and I'm just repeating what they are saying, which has kind of been my strategy this whole day.
Thomas and Edmund whisper about the new developments, agreeing that Kat needs to go here because she's a bigger threat to win the challenge than Abrielle. At the nomination ceremony, Olivia nominated her close friend Kat, while Shakira nominated Abrielle, as planned. Kat and Olivia asked Zach for his vote, and Zach committed he wanted to see Kat stay and Abrielle go. Thomas told Abrielle outside that Abby would be safe. It was time to split up Kat and Olivia. Olivia had given them the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm up on the block. I have 1 seed to my name. Just a poor old lady. And I guess it's easy to send me home, but also dumb. Because I've been on the bottom since Daisy Chain.
Edmund also sat with Abby and told her that she would be safe. Thomas told Zach and Shakira that he wanted to see Kat go. Zach and Shakira both wanted to see Kat stay, because they both had a stronger bond with Kat than Abrielle. Thomas explains that he probably feels about Abrielle the way that they feel about Kat, and they end the conversation agreeing to disagree. At the end of the auction, the uproot was not purchased, and the final nominees were Kat and Abrielle.
Hopefully I'm able to stay in. Hopefully everyone likes true to their word and I don't get kicked out. And I think like if that happens, the next person has to go with Shakira.
Thomas and Edmund talked and locked in their votes for Kat. Edmund also brings up whether or not Thomas and Edmund should flip to work with Abrielle and go to the top 3 with Abrielle instead of Shakira and Zach. Thomas, while interested in the idea, thinks that it would be bad jury management, especially since Abrielle would be seen as an underdog and would probably beat both Edmund and Thomas at the end. Abrielle sat Zach down and explained that she's been on the bottom from the beginning. While Olivia and Kat are a strong duo, they are a much bigger threat collectively than Abrielle. Edmund told Kat that he felt like they haven't developed an in-game strategy together, and as a result, he was leaning toward voting her out. He's the only one to give Kat a heads up. Zach tells Edmund that his meeting with Abrielle changed his mind. He wants to see Kat go, because Kat's a bigger threat than Abrielle at this point. Thomas tells Olivia one more time that Kat's going to be safe. And then, at the banishment ceremony, Kat left the game. The next greenhouse competition tested the players' ability to sense time, and Thomas, Edmund, and Abrielle entered the greenhouse. Thomas took the sunflower, Abrielle took the rose, and Edmund took the 2 seeds in exchange for a promise of safety from the other 2 greenhouse players. Thomas said that he would nominate Shakira as sunflower, because Shakira would then receive a seed instead of Olivia. That way, Olivia wouldn't be able to drain their seeds whenever she tried to go for uproot, and it would be easier to beat her and send her out of the game.
1 minute, 59 seconds. That's what I get for bragging, I guess. I can't believe I just did that. No, I can't believe it. But still, unanimous vote to stay. I don't know. I don't want to get too cocky. But at this point, I've made it past the point where I went home last time, so I'm having a great ride, but I kind of want to watch the top dogs turn on each other. That'd be really nice. Because them getting rid of me last vote wouldn't have made any sense. Because I've made sure to not be perceived as a threat. So yeah. Just so happy. Just so happy. I say. Making it to Final 5, big accomplishment. If I can sit at Final 3 with Thomas and Edmund, I think that'd be great. I think that last round really proves that I have the speech skills to sell myself. Because I think my convincing really came in handy last round. So, yeah, I think that could come in handy for me at jury. Can I beat Thomas? I don't know. Can I beat Edmund? I don't know, but
Thomas and Shakira discussed the previous vote. Shakira was upset that Kat went home and that the person she's been targeting, Abrielle, stayed in the game. Thomas told Shakira that she would absolutely be safe this week and that Olivia would go home, followed by Abrielle, according to the plan. He told Shakira that he'd nominate her in order to keep the sunflower seed away from Olivia, making it easier to banish her. Additionally, Thomas tells Shakira that he and Shakira's relationship had been too obvious to the rest of the cast. By nominating Shakira here, Edmund and Zach would feel safer going to the top 4 with both Thomas and Shakira. Shakira was all in. Abrielle tells Olivia that Olivia will be nominated this week. Olivia stresses that the real threat in the game is Shakira. Edmund does not want to go on the block at all. He tells Zach that he will use all his seeds to bid on Uproot and keep Olivia on the block, while also keeping himself off the block. Thomas and Shakira talk about who they will take to the top 3 between Edmund and Zach. Thomas thinks he trusts Edmund more, but Edmund also has a stronger resume than Zach, specifically because he bought the Venus flytrap. Edmund and Shakira talk about the plan to get rid of Olivia and to have Edmund buy the Uproot. In this conversation, Shakira mentions that she will never backstab Thomas, and that she plans to go to the end with him. At the nomination ceremony, Shakira and Olivia were nominated, as planned.
Honestly, I hoped to make it this far, but I didn't think I would make it this far, mostly because I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I thought that people would find me useless and want to get rid of me because I didn't know the rules. So I'm actually just grateful to have made it this far. And I do think I've made really good, strong alliances, and I feel pretty confident that I won't get voted out unless there's some really strange shift, which I don't predict happening. I feel like we have things set up in a way that'll be advantageous for me. So I'm not really sweating. I feel pretty confident. Well, there's always a slim chance that someone, strikes a deal or something crazy happens, but as of now, I feel good. About this.
Edmund pulled Zach to the side and told him about Shakira's comment about never betraying Thomas. Edmund tells Zach that the two of them need to plan on forming a Final 2 alliance, tying the vote at the Final 4 and eliminating both Thomas and Shakira. That's their best shot at winning. Edmund confirms his vote to eliminate Olivia with Abrielle and Thomas. And then Thomas and Edmund pull Olivia to the side and tell her goodbye, pretty much. They congratulate her on a good game and let her know that she will be going home at the end of the auction. Olivia bid on the Uproot, but ultimately Edmund outbid Olivia, as expected, and Olivia was left on the block against Shakira. And at the banishment ceremony, Olivia became the next person banished from the Greenhouse Season 3, leaving the top 4 alliance and Abrielle as the final 5 players. Will the top 4 pull off their run to the finale? And ultimately, who will make it to the jury vote? Find out next week on The Greenhouse Season 3.